in and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have ByuN for Shopify. And in the bottom right, we have NightMare. Currently teamless. Feels bad, man. Like, NightMare, he's such a good player, and to have NightMare be teamless for so long, it feels so bad. Like, we've casted NightMare recently, you know, take down players like Cure, take down players like Clem and ByuN, and he's been popping off, and even took down Solo to qualify for GSL. I think it was in Season 1 of this year, which is impressive, and still unfortunately teamless. Hopefully he's able to find a team coming into the esports World Cup. I would hope so. I would hope that he can be picked up and he can represent in that tournament. I do think he's definitely worthy of joining a team and being a part of that, but we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. Are they getting weird in chat again? Oh no. Calm down, chat. Calm down. What was happening? Oh, okay. Well, they jumped on the pull out. They jumped on it. Shaking my head. Is that a command yet in the chat? Not yet. One day, Papi. One day. But here we go. We're settling into game number 2. We're settling into our second. Oh, sorry, game number 2. What? Sorry, our second semifinals. What I meant to say. You know, our second semifinals. ByuN going for a Rax Expand economic opener. It's a bit refreshing. If you recall earlier today, in all the TvPs that we were casting, we saw a lot of double gas openers instead. So I appreciate this from ByuN. Meanwhile, NightMare opening up Gate Expand into the Cybercore. Oh, sorry, Gate Cyber Expand out of NightMare. Working towards a faster warp gate. And we're settling into game 1. Numero uno. Again, Hero is patiently waiting for the winner of this series. Who is it going to be? My condolences to Solar. I also didn't get to mention it, but Solar, of course, was our last Zerg player in the tournament. My condolences. But he had a really good run to make it to the semifinals. Had a really good performance nonetheless. And, okay, NightMare, he's going to be going for a Twilight Council here. We have our tech of choice, not a Stargate. Going for the Blink. I say Blink. DTs are still on the table. We have seen a surprising amount of DT play here in this matchup. We have seen it mixed into a series more often than not. But here we go. Blink is on the way. Going to be Blink, second gateway, 2-gate Blink for the time being. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count to see if a third or fourth gateway gets thrown down, to see how aggressive NightMare wants to be, or if we just go for a third. NightMare confirms the CC on the high ground. And, oh, we throw down more gates. Okay. That's going to be the third gateway on the way. Oh, Mindshot goes off, taking down the Adept. Very nicely done. Adept goes down, but it's going to be 3-gate Blink for the time being. We'll see if a fourth gateway gets thrown down. There it is! Fourth gateway's on the way. It's going to be 4-gate Blink Stalker out of NightMare. Very aggressive build here from our Protoss player. Let's go. The way this works, we're going to be making a Warp Prism for high ground vision. We're going to be reinforcing with nothing but Stalkers. And if ByuN is on a low tank count, then he can be punished. He can be abused. ByuN's still piecing this together, going for his own drop. Drop into the main. Now this drop isn't just designed to get damage done, it's designed to scout, confirm the tech, and confirm how many gateways there are. ByuN is also trying to piece this together. There we go, we go for the drop, there are Stalkers in position. Now Widowmine is going to be going off. Oh, on a probe. One probe goes down. At the same time, push towards the natural, we do defend. And NightMare does hold. I believe ByuN, he saw the gateways at the natural at least, so he knows it's at least 3 gate. He knows it's at least 3 gateways. So he's getting ready back at home. Tank production has commenced. He has 1 tank in the main. Widowmine getting shut down. We can see NightMare's actually taking up into charge. Interesting. I guess because of the Warp Prism, because of the drop, NightMare stuck at home. And he takes a third. Okay. This is a really good start for ByuN. Despite the aggressive build here by NightMare, he's been kind of neutered in a way, or he's just been stripped away from his aggression. He's stuck at home. He's throwing down 3 more gates, though. Oh my god, that's a lot of gateways this early on. That's going to be 7 gates in total. Templar Archives on the way as well. I imagine we're not going to be taking our gases at the 3rd. There's another gateway. 8 gates in total here for NightMare. Moves out with his Stalkers, but he doesn't commit. I appreciate as well that NightMare isn't warping in Stalkers. He has gateways to warp in, but isn't going for it. He's taking instead. Auto Shout Harass. Doesn't get much done. We have a shield battery in position. But big scout, ByuN, he scouts, he confirms, he sees another upgrade researching on the Twilight Council. He sees the gateway explosion. He's aware of charge. He hasn't spotted the Templar Archives. That Storm is on the way, but he can assume. As they do go hand in hand. And there we go. We scan the natural. We do confirm that Storm is being researched. ByuN sees everything, is fully aware. And we'll see what ByuN can get done with this move out. He's going for a drop towards the south. His main army towards the center. Moving out with his tanks as well. Bold move. Storm is going to finish in time, and we have plenty of High Templar. Oh boy. Can ByuN avoid those storms? Another drop! Oh, the drop is caught out as well. Massive catch. A full medevac goes down, and now NightMare, he can focus on his defense. ByuN backs off. He's coming back home. He's like, nope. I don't want to deal with that. Not without my drop. So ByuN, he pulls back. He races back home. 3rd CC just now begins. Oh, that is a late 3rd CC here by ByuN. NightMare maintains his economic lead, and he can even go for a 4th. NightMare, he can chill, he can expand. I say that, he's moving out instead. Towards the bases of ByuN. Tanks do siege. We have storms. How good are the mine shots gonna be? Big storms here. We zone away the army. Good storms on the bio as well. We shut down the tanks, and NightMare, he's going for the kill. Going for the medevacs. Medevac goes down. Oh my god. ByuN, his supply just plummets. And NightMare, he can keep pushing. He could try to break into that natural, but for now he's distracted by the Raven harass. And NightMare, he's content just winning that fight and taking a 4th. I mean, it's a secure way to just get further ahead. It is a secure way. NightMare going for +1, additional gateways, 4th Nexus. ByuN trying to break free, but really, once ByuN tries to establish his 3rd base, that's going to be the sign for NightMare to push in again with a 2nd wave. Here we go. NightMare does reinforce. More Zealots coming out. I mean, we have a field of Widow Mines. True, if we get like the perfect mine shots, we can maybe defend. But you can see NightMare setting up for a full surround here. Coming in from multiple angles. And we still have those storms. But EMP doesn't quite connect. Storm does. Mine shots going off. Good connections here on the Zealots. Oh, the Prism goes down. Okay. Not bad, but oh, I missed all of that. The Zealots, they went ham in the mineral line. 15 SCVs went down. NightMare once again crippling that economy. Once again maintaining his lead. Now, because the prism fell, he can't reinforce, so he has to rebuild. Has to remake. More Archons, more High Templar, more Zealots. Right now, the onus is on ByuN to try to bounce back somehow. And drop play is the way to do it. Here we go, triple drop towards the south. NightMare, he pushes through the center. Now what's scary is that, yes, ByuN, he's getting away with this drop, but this also means that these Marines, this army, these forces are not at home to defend. So ByuN is vulnerable. And we could just force a base trade. Or we could recall. True. We could just recall back home. Speaking of, feedbacks on the medevacs. Going for a warping of Stalkers in the south. They're going to be focused down. Good target firing here by ByuN. Does break through. And NightMare is racing back home. Wasn't able to recall. Forge gets shut down. We deny +2. Very nice drop here by ByuN, and he should be able to get away. Once again, making use of the SimCity against NightMare. NightMare trying to go for his own run by. ByuN gets away. Zealots, oh, they get into the mineral line though. They do slip in. ByuN forced to come back. You can see that the supplies are actually quite close between our players now. ByuN, is he recovering? I mean, he's got a good coast count. He's got some solid SimCity here at the base as well. He wants to take a fight at his third. That would be the ideal. As I say that, the CC does lift. It is more wide open. And we are pushing in. Show us the storms. Oh, EMP's not quite connecting. High Templar coming in. We bait out more EMPs. And there it is. The storms get thrown down. We blanket the army. Oh my god. Massive storms here on ByuN. And ByuN, his army crumbles once again. Oh my god. GG gets called. The storms are too good. And NightMare takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, NightMare has been on fire as of late in the PvT matchup. I mentioned before that arguably NightMare has the best PvT in South Korea. I say arguably because, I mean, Hero is still a factor. And I mean, there's just a lot of really good Protoss players out there with its Hero classic stats. There's a lot of competition, but a solid game 1 there out of NightMare. Able to catch ByuN out, able to collapse on his tanks as he was out exposed in the open. Take a lead and make sure not to throw away that lead either. It got close though. Like, ByuN was bouncing back. I was impressed by how ByuN was able to recover from a really terrifying or really rough position, but still was not enough. And now the pressure is on ByuN. Pressure is on. Can he recover? Can he force that ace match? We're here to find out. As we're loading into our next game and spawning in the top right hand corner, we have NightMare. And in the bottom left, we have ByuN. Our TvP does continue. And we're loading into a much larger map here. We saw NightMare go for a really awkward build in the last game, winding it back. Remember, he went for a 4-gate blink, and he couldn't make use of it. Which is why, like, honestly, ByuN had a much stronger start. But on NightMare, he went 4-gate blink. I don't expect 4-gate blink on this map. Just because how large it is, just because of how defendable it is. 4-gate blink is seen less often on a map like Alkyone. But we'll see. As ByuN is going for a double gas opener. Okay. As a reminder, last game ByuN went for a Rax Expand. A CC on the high ground, if you remember. This time, double gas leads into a faster factory, leads into faster factory-based play and a much more aggressive build. I'm curious. Now, ByuN has options. He can go for Reactor Reaper Hellion, for example. He can go Reactor Cyclone production. He can go into faster Widowmine production, into a Mine Drop. ByuN has a lot of options. Has a lot of options here. What will he go for? Probe does arrive. Probe will confirm the delayed CC. And there's that factory on the way. Where are you taking us, Pappy? Where are you taking us? This should not be a one-way soul in. This should lead into a CC. If we were casting Gumiho, for example, I'd be like, yo, one-way soul in? I mean, as Gumiho is much more chaotic in that sense. ByuN going for the reactor. Building up his minerals, should soon be going for the CC. And there it is, command center on location. But again, it has been delayed here in favor of the factory. Reaper does arrive, and it looks like, yes, we are going for Reactor Reaper Hellion production. So we can go a couple of different ways with this. We could go into 3 Reaper double Hellion. We can go up to 5 Reaper triple Hellion as well. We'll see how much we commit to this and how many we make, and the goal here is to break into a mineral line and roast up some probes. Like, Hellion Reaper can get out of hand very quickly, very early on. It's on NightMare to confirm this. Once you confirm this build, you can wall off. Like, SimCity is your friend here, especially against Hellions. We don't quite scout the main, but we do get eyes on the first Hellion alongside that Reaper. It's going to be a Stargate opener. If we go Phoenix first, this might be ideal for ByuN. Like, an Oracle can shut this down. A Phoenix can struggle. Yeah, we don't wall off the natural. Shield batteries on the way. Reaper Hellion's moving out. It's going to be triple Reaper, double Hellion. We're trying to wall up. Shield battery not done. We're going for the Adepts. The Adepts are going to be targeted down. We have 3 Adepts to defend, though. We do focus down one of the Reapers. Yeah, we should hold. Phoenix comes out. We shut this down. And NightMare does defend. This could have been so much worse. I mean, the Hellion does break in, but it should go down. Shouldn't get anything done. Yeah, one shot away. Oh! Probes did line up for a moment. Oh my god, ByuN catches 2 probes towards the end. Very nicely done. Making the best out of a bad situation, and those probes shouldn't have fallen, but overall this was still a good defense for NightMare. This could have been so much worse with additional probes falling, but only 2. Good defense by NightMare. He's settling into the rest of his Phoenixes, going for a Twilight counter follow-up. Could be Phoenix into charge. As the army is spotted. Ooh, ByuN moving out with the Cyclone, reinforcing with more. He's going for a push. ByuN, he's reinforcing. He's making 2 Cyclones at a time and a Liberator as well. ByuN going to be rallying everything across the map. This is the danger of going for a Stargate opener, is that with Phoenixes, you have very little to defend. Like, you have a very small gateway force on the ground. Phoenixes themselves, they can struggle against early game aggression. 3rd CC, thankfully, is on the way. But ByuN is still going to push. And NightMare, he's staying back at home. If he were to move out, he could get caught. He's just building up his adapt counts, going for charge. 3rd base soon to be on the way. Phoenixes have been amassing. Yeah, we're good. And he does get eyes on the army in the center of the map. NightMare avoiding the Zonaga. This is going to get interesting. As NightMare is going for a big adept counterattack towards the north, if ByuN pushes right through the center, we could end up in a weird situation where the armies, they miss each other. Ooh, but we do get eyes on the adepts. ByuN sees, and he pulls back. Phew. If it wasn't for that Liberator, we could have ended up in like in a weird base trade kind of scenario, but ByuN does spot it. He pulls back home. Ooh, and ByuN's getting picked apart here. Marines and Cyclones going down. We commit to the shade. SCVs are falling. A lot lost mine time here at the natural. 1 SCV went down. Only 1. So far, good reaction by ByuN. Ooh, rough control there from NightMare. Does bleed out some of those adepts, but will escape. Again, we saw NightMare who was trying to target down one of the Cyclones that was further back, so ByuN able to kite backwards. Able to counteract NightMare there. And the game is calming down. We're calming things down here. NightMare getting into his 3rd. ByuN doing the same. Well, Liberator is caught. It's found out by NightMare, so nice catch from our Protoss. Shuts down the Lib. Meanwhile, ByuN getting into his bio. Stim is done. Combat shields, concussive shell on the way. +1. The rest are of our Raxes. Once again, though, as he moves out, NightMare does punish him. Getting 2 more SCVs. Ooh, the Phoenix barely survives. And this time, NightMare is not going into Storm. This time, we have Colossus on the way. Well, as you have to say, shade in, we got 5 SCV kills. Not bad. I believe that was 5 SCVs for 3 Adepts. The rest of the army moving out as we have control of the Zonaga. Observer has eyes on the main army as well. We're lacking a backbone here, by the way. There's no tanks. There's no Widow Mines yet. They're on the way. NightMare, can he catch out ByuN? The Phoenixes do threaten the main. You can see NightMare ready to collapse on that third. He's hoping that maybe ByuN does overreact to the Phoenixes, but ByuN stands strong, and NightMare backs off. NightMare does retreat. Again, getting into his first Colossus. We have the second Robo on the way for double Colossus production to eventually get into Disruptors as well. Move out is spotted by the Observer, and NightMare pulls back. He pulls back with his main army, but the Phoenixes, they catch some reinforcements. Very nicely done. We have 2 Marines, we catch a Marauder. ByuN forced to turn back around. Oof. We're getting more SCVs, more Marines. NightMare does overextend, bleeding out a Phoenix, and ByuN, he's pushing. He turned around for a second, but no, he's going to be committing instead. But pushing into Colossus, never an easy thing to do. Pushing into Overcharge, and there's that Overcharge. And Cyclones are going down, good cutting against these Zealots. Phoenixes, they threaten those medevacs, more reinforcements coming in. And NightMare, he may have too much. He's overwhelming the army and shutting down the medevacs. Only 2 medevacs remain. I mean, the kiting is good here, don't get me wrong. But the Protoss army is still terrifying. We get every single medevac. Yeah, the Marines do fall. Thankfully, we have Ghost in the back line. ByuN, he holds. NightMare, he knows he has momentum. But he has no War Prism. If he only had a Prism, he could reinforce. Speaking of, War Prism's on the way. NightMare, he knows how close he is to breaking ByuN. But now ByuN, he's made it back home. And he's got SimCity on his side. He's got SimCity, he's got Widow Mines, Ghosts have arrived, he has EMPs. I like this out of NightMare, he's making Disruptors. Which means he might not push in. He could just maintain his position, take a 4th base, contain ByuN. As I say that, he does try to push off the ramp. Widow Mine goes down. Again, a risky move here by NightMare. He slips in from behind with that Prism. But he runs into reinforcements. The Prism goes down. Oh. And NightMare, he has to retreat. He's vulnerable. Yeah, that was a good catch by ByuN, and a little bit too adventurous there by NightMare. A little bit too cavalier with that War Prism. Has arrived with Disruptors, and again, his goal here should not be to push into the 3rd, it should just be to deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base over and over again, because he knows that ByuN is coming to him. Novas are going off, and we zone ByuN away. SCVs are going down, Nova does not connect, good target firing out of ByuN. Does catch the Observer. Ooh, NightMare is going to be in the dark. He's not going to spot these rotations as easily. More Disruptors on the way, and you can see ByuN is forced to expand elsewhere. We'll see if he expands towards the south instead. See NightMare rotating around. He still has an Observer over the ramp. You can still see the army movement. There's a Widow Mine on the high ground, but only the one Widow Mine. Disruptors are going to be going off. Oh! Oof. Takes down the tower. The Observer was spotted. 4th base being retaken. Getting a very clutch dance here between NightMare and ByuN. ByuN catches the Zealots. Good catch. Group of Zealots, they go down for free. Army's pushing in. ByuN does spot it. And NightMare, he's going for the base. He's going for the CC. Vikings are coming in. They don't quite commit. Neither does NightMare. Planetary's on the way. Ooh, and is NightMare going to let that Planetary get up and running? I think he might have to. Trying to knock down these rocks instead. Ooh, gets a Viking. Planetary is about to finish. And you can see ByuN going for the flank. He's going for the Disruptors. Nova's going to be going off, and one connects. Oh, big connection there from NightMare. Zealots, they come in to reinforce as well. The Colossus going ham. Good split here by ByuN. The splits. He's getting on top of the Colossus. And where's the support? Where's the Gateway Army? It's only Colossus and only Disruptors, and we shut everything down. ByuN, he cleans NightMare up. Gets a Colossus and every Disruptor as well. Oof, the Colossus does not recall. That was such a close fight, and again, NightMare, he just needed one more wave of reinforcements. A couple more. These zealots, we needed them. We needed them with the main army. That could have been it. And ByuN holds, takes a massive fight, and NightMare, he's hurting. The problem here in this kind of setup is that if you lose all your disruptors and Colossus, it takes so long. It takes so long to replace those disruptors, to replace the Colossus. NightMare, he has a gateway army. And that pales in comparison to what ByuN has. Couple of good EMPs, and NightMare, he crumbles. He needs to rebuild that backbone. ByuN, he holds onto the planetary as well. And ByuN, he's got an economic lead. He's on 72 SCVs. He's ahead in the economy, plus mules. I didn't realize how low the probe count is for NightMare. He's basically all in. Like NightMare, he's on 66 probes. That's 3 bases. And a very low probe counts, and finally we're starting to make some probes, but yeah, NightMare, he's not scaling too well here. Good kiting by ByuN. Now, there's still a chance for NightMare. If we can land a Nova, like 1 or 2 good Novas. 2 good Novas is all it takes, and he can win a fight. And can maybe punish one of these bases. But we are heavily reliant on these disruptors. +3 just now begins. Nova going off. Catching some Winter Mines, not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. ByuN getting access to the 4th. Ooh, Nova goes off, does connect. But the disruptor gets almost caught out. Okay, not bad. EMP does connect. We're going for the army, we're going for the fight. Disruptors are lagging a little bit behind. ByuN able to shave off more of those zealots. Good splits out of ByuN. Avoids disaster. Really, all that ByuN's missing here is liberation zones. Like, if he can get into liberator production, that would be ideal to help zone away the ground army. But now they're hyperfixated on just rebuilding his bio. NightMare dives in. Yeah, we have a lot of Novas available here with just perpetual Novas out of NightMare. ByuN unable to push in. Ooh, a little bit trigger happy. That's 3 Novas at once. And now ByuN, he can push forward. All the disruptors on cooldown. That was a bit of a misstep there from NightMare. He has to be careful. Again, if those disruptors are ever all off of cooldown, then or on cooldown, ByuN can push in. He can commit. Splits up his army. Yeah, he's going for the base, and we're out of position. No shield battery, no nothing. The base goes down. NightMare once again knocked down to 4 bases, but he does clean up a lot of this bio. This is still neck and neck. ByuN loses a big chunk of his army, but he does get the base. Still close. We're getting back into Colossus. We've noticed that there are no Vikings. So Colossus suddenly are that much more powerful. Colossus is spotted. Viking production begins once again. Good catch there by ByuN. Oh, shot's going to be going off. And we are pushing forward. No big connections with the Novas, but we're just zoning ByuN away. We're pushing towards a planetary. But it's still a planetary, though. We cannot break that. NightMare rotating around. Oh, no War Prism either. No fast reinforcement points. 2 Novas. One of them got wasted. Now we're coming in for the flank. Nova gets one of those ghosts. Zealots come in. Zealots are getting annihilated, and it looks like ByuN collapses on the army. The Novas are okay, but once again, we get on top of the Colossus, and we can focus them down. Not enough reinforcements, not enough Zealots. Oh, the Novas! Oh, they will not connect. Good target firing here by ByuN, and he's snowballing out of control. NightMare once again overextending. Caught out, and he's running out of steam. He's running out of army. It was a good effort. Very close game. But there's nothing left for the Protoss. We shut down the goal. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. That was close. Ay, 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 papi. That was very back and forth. There were multiple moments in that game where NightMare, he almost broke the back of ByuN. He was so close, so very close. Something that was killing NightMare, though, we saw it in multiple fights, was his reinforcement point. Like, you don't need a Warp Prism. Like, if you don't have a Warp Prism, that's fine. If you can have, like, maybe a gateway in the center of the map as well, just so we can reinforce that much faster. We saw that when it came to the fights at the Planetary, at the 4th base, we saw a massive wave of Zealots on the way, but they got there too late. They got there too little too late to reinforce, and because of that, the Colossus were caught out, the Disruptors were caught out. The same thing happened here at the end of the game, where, again, just it took too long to kind of bolster that army, and ByuN was able to land some good EMPs, snowball out of control, get on top of the forces here of NightMare, and GG. GG, well played. Phew, but it was very close. It was a clutch game there. ByuN bringing it back, and now we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in game 3, and we're going to be loading in to, I believe, Oceanborn. Oh boy. Here we go, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have NightMare. In the bottom right, we have ByuN. Here we go. So we are settling in. And we've already seen quite an array of different builds from our two players, from NightMare and ByuN. They have mixed it up quite a bit over the course of this series. We've seen NightMare go for a 4-gate Blink in Game 1, and Game 2 and for a Stargate opener into Phoenixes. Here in Game 3, what do we go for? Blink or Stargate? Likewise, ByuN going double gas. Double gas opener out of ByuN. This could once again be Reactor Reaper Hellion. It could be Fast Widow Mines. Could be Reactor Cyclone. We'll see how aggressive ByuN wants to be. Again, double gas means faster factory, delayed command center. What are we going for? Oh, we're going for a reactor first. Okay. ByuN, you have my attention. Now, with this reactor first, we could be going reactor marine into factory into an add-on swap into reactor cyclones. Or we could just go into a heavy reactor, sorry, a heavy reaper count early on. I'm curious. Curious here what is done with the reactor. I'm leaning towards reactor marines, but we'll see. We shall see. As NightMare is getting into his natural. Ooh, reactor reaper. Okay. So we're not going for the add-on swap. It's going to be reapers initially, and we should be reinforcing this with Hellion. Because it was reactor first, we might go into additional reaper. If you remember last game, it was 3 reaper and 2 Hellion. This time we could commit a little bit harder. We could commit that much harder here. And the goal for ByuN is to break through the Adept defensive line and to get into a mineral line, get some economic damage done. Meanwhile, NightMare going for a Twilight Council, going for Blink. Now you can see that ByuN is going into his 3rd and 4th Reaper, alongside his 2nd Hellion. Is building up. Adept Scout comes in, but we don't get up the ramp. We don't quite get the scout off. For now, 2nd gateway's on the way for NightMare. Just 2-gate Blink. We'll see if he goes for a 3rd gateway. Okay, so it's going to be 4 Reaper, 2 Hellion. And behind this, we're getting into a 2nd Rax. Very aggressive here out of ByuN. What I'm referring to is he's going for a 2nd Rax, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a 3rd Rax before Starport. Yeah, early tank production here out of ByuN. Uh-oh. And we're diving in. Yeah, we're going for the Adept. The shield battery is done, though, just in time. With the help of the shield battery, we do force back the army. NightMare, he does hold. Burgs down the Hellion. Gets the Reaper. Trades out the Adept, but well worth it here. NightMare forces back the forces of ByuN. And there's that 3rd Rax that we spoke about. So again, this is a very delayed starport. This could be a 2-base all-in out of ByuN. So what's happening here is that he's going for a 3-rack setup with a factory, no starport. We're delaying medevac production in favor of more tanks and more marines. You can see here we're massing up a bio-tank army very early on. This can lead into a starport, into a medevac push, or we can pull the boys and just go for a 2-base all-in. So I'm curious which one we go for. Stim is on the way, so it looks like we're hitting a stim timing. It's going to hit a little bit later. So I imagine ByuN should be going for the starport and building up towards this push. But we'll see. We'll see if we pull the boys. Meanwhile, NightMare throws down 2 more gateways. It's going to be 4-gate blink. Okay, very safe play, or safe response here out of NightMare. I say safe because I'm not too sure how aggressive he really means on being. He's moving out with the stalkers, but... Oh, that's more gates on the way. Oh my god, before the 3rd Nexus! That's going to be a 6-gate setup here from NightMare with charge. Things are about to get spicy. Who do I favor? 3rd Nexus is being taken. Observer goes in. We do get eyes on the tank. And I still don't see a starport, by the way. Ooh, NightMare is teching. This push is going to hit like a truck, but as we move out, NightMare moves in. And we are pulling the boys. It's a 2-base all-in out of ByuN. The boys have been pulled. Meanwhile, the tank in the main base is exposed. But these are stalkers that are not defending back at home. Tank is in position. NightMare pulls back. And NightMare, he doesn't see the move out. Oh no, I'm pretty sure he missed the move out here. He's blinking back. ByuN is committing, and there's no shield battery at the 3rd base. There is a shield battery at the natural, but only 1. And yeah, NightMare, he's not aware. The army has arrived. We can ignore the 3rd. And what do we go for? The reinforcing tank gets shut down. Yeah, we're going for the natural. We ignore the 3rd base. We're going for the kill. Stim is done. Combat shield's finishing up as well. We shut down the gateways. We're going for the pylon. We catch a 2nd tank, but we depower the robo. Oof. Charge is done though, but no immortal production. And here come the boys to help buffer, to help soak up these zealots. Tank shots going off. Zealots, they try to collapse on the tanks. But the bio army, we're stimming on through them. We're breaking through those zealots. They get completely cleaned up, and NightMare has nothing left. The tank survived. Oh my god. The tanks refuse to go down. And NightMare caught with his pants down again. He missed this move out. Didn't see it coming. And was caught woefully underprepared. And we have control of the natural. The 3rd base gets shut down. You can see NightMare trying to amass an Archon army. The probes did catch some of those Reapers as well. But we have bunkers. Like, how do we break through the bunkers? There's a 3rd bunker on the way. Oh my god. Yeah, ByuN just rallying across the map. He will get a kill in this space. The Archons are pushing in, trying to save it. The tanks are topped up by the SCVs. And the Nexus goes down. NightMare knocked down to 1 base. And it's all or nothing with NightMare pushing into the tanks. He will get 1, but only 1 as the reinforcements rock up. And ByuN takes it. GG gets called. ByuN takes down NightMare 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Bobby. GG, well played. Congratulations here to ByuN as he does take the series 2-1. Again, it was a very chaotic, very wild back and forth between these two. Very evenly matched in those first 2 games. But in the ace match here, ByuN whipping out the 2-base all-in. We did kind of smell it early on with his initial build order. Unfortunately, NightMare didn't quite see it. He was active with his stalkers, that's true, but if you remember, he was using his observer to gain high ground vision to blink into the main. He did not have the observer outside of the natural, so he missed the move out. He missed the move out entirely, was hyper fixated on harassing and killing SCVs when ByuN was pulling the boys and moving out across the map. And yeah, with that, NightMare gets caught out. GG, well played. It was a good effort though. Good effort to make it to the semifinals. Very well done. And again, NightMare forcing the ace match as well. Impressive stuff. We've been kind of I've been hyping up NightMare's PVT, and we've seen him take down names like Cure, even forcing ByuN to the ace match. He took down Bunny earlier as well. some killer PvT, and I can't wait to see more of it in the coming weeks, in the coming months. But with that, we have our 2 finalists. We have our grand finals for KungFu Cup number 3 for the season of WTL Summer 2024. It comes down to 2 players. It comes down to ByuN versus Hero.